All right, everybody, welcome to today's personal development lesson. I am your host, as always, Joel Dunn. Today, we are going over an amazing lesson that you need to hear. But not just you. I need to hear this too, because this is one of the foundational things that we talk about as being a leader. Because you need to lead like you are being watched. Because you are. Your team isn't doing what you say. They are doing what you are showing. So think about this. If your team copied everything that you did this week, your habits, your attitudes, your efforts, your reactions, would your business be in a better place or a worse place? Think about it. Because here's the truth. Most leaders don't want to hear. Your team isn't following your words. They're following your example. You're not building them with your speeches. You're building them with your patterns. And whether you realize it or not, you are always being watched. So today, let's go over 5 ways your leadership is shaping your team, even when you're not trying. So number 1, your team is learning from you, even when you're not teaching. Because leadership isn't a moment, it's a mirror. You think your team learns from your trainings. They do somewhat. But they learn from how you show up on a random Tuesday when nothing is going right. How you talk about the hard day, how you handle a no, how you respond when somebody on your team quits, how you treat people when no one's watching. That's the real curriculum. You're training and teaching skills, but your life teaches culture. Because leadership is caught more than it's taught. Think about that with your kids. Your kids are around you nonstop and they're seeing the things that you're doing. So are the things that you're saying matching up with the things that you're doing? Because the things that you're doing are what they're catching more than what you're telling them. So, excuse me. So this week, ask yourself before everything, every message, every meeting, every reaction, is this the example I want my team copying? Number 2, what you tolerate, you teach. Guys, we talk about standards all the time, and your standards aren't what you say, they're what you allow to take place. So you can preach excellence all day long, but if you let yourself show up late, if you show up half prepared or distracted, your team learns that that is the bar for your standards. If you tolerate excuses in yourself, you'll tolerate them in your team. If you tolerate inconsistency, you'll build an inconsistent culture. If you tolerate negativity in your inner circle, guess what that will do? That will spread throughout the entire team. Whenever you walk past, you approve. Whatever you allow, you are silently endorsing. So here's the thing. The standard of your team will never rise above the standard of your examples, not just your word. So here's something you can do. You can identify one thing you've been tolerating in yourself this month and cut it this week so that it doesn't bleed into your team. Number 3, your worst day teaches louder than your best day as a leader. I know that a lot of us have these days where we're just like, I just don't want to show up. But guess what? When you show up, that is when, even on your worst day, you can impact somebody on your team or your team as a whole because your persistency and consistency. Because anyone can lead well when things are easy. Your team is studying how you lead when things fall apart. when numbers are down, when top performers leave, when you get hit with bad news right before a team call or right before a Zoom, when everything that you planned blows up, that's when your real leadership shows up. And that's when your team is taking the deepest notes. These are the ones that they're writing down, because if you panic, they'll panic. If you complain, guess what? They'll complain more. If you stay grounded, then they'll learn how to weather their own storms because they've seen you weather your storm. You don't get to choose if your team watches you in adversity. You only get to choose what they see. So be the stable leader I know you can be, because that will cause stability to grow throughout your entire team. Because pressure is a stage. You always need to lead like the lights are on you. So the next time something goes wrong, pause for 60 seconds before you respond. Because we want you to respond, not react as a leader. And make sure your reaction is one you'd be proud for your team to copy. Number 4, your private habits become their public standards, because you can't fake leadership long term. Because what you do in private eventually becomes the culture in public for your team. Because the leader who reads in private builds a team that grows. The leader who maybe shortcuts in private builds a team that takes shortcuts. The leaders who stay disciplined when no one's watching builds a team that doesn't need to be watched. Your private life is your soil. Your team is the harvest from that. So whatever you plant when no one is looking is what grows when everyone else is. So here's the thing. What do you do in the dark eventually will have to lead to the light. So be specific about what you're doing in your private time, in your quiet time, because eventually it comes to light for everyone. So here's something to do. Pick one private discipline this week, whether it's reading, quiet time, prayer, exercise, journaling, and protect it like your team's future depends on it, because ultimately it does. And number 5, consistency is your loudest sermon. I love this word, consistency, because your team isn't looking for perfect. They are looking for predictable. They want to know, are you the same person on Monday that you were on Friday? Are you the same leader in crisis as you are in abundance? Do you show up the same way when results are great or when they're absolutely horrible? Can they count on your energy, your tone, your standard, your follow-through? Because if they can, they will start to duplicate that. Here's the thing. Inconsistent leaders create an anxious team. Consistent leaders create confident ones. So if you want to create a confident team, go out and do the things consistently so that they have confidence not only in you, but it builds the confidence in them. You don't have to be the loudest leader in the room. You don't even have to be the best speaker. You just have to be the same person every day doing the right things on repeat, because that alone will outlead 90% of leaders. Because your team doesn't need you to be impressive. They need you to be reliable. So what are we going to do? We're going to identify the one behavior you want your team to model most, and then commit to doing it consistently for the next 30 days. No excuses, no days off, every 30 days. Because when you do that, that consistency will build that habit and that discipline in you, but it'll also trickle down to your entire team. So again, you need to lead like you are being watched, because you are. So what are you going to do? Your team is learning from you, so even when you're not teaching, they're picking it up. Number 2, what you tolerate, you're teaching your team. Number 3, your worst day teaches louder than your best day, so pay attention. Number 4, your private habits become their public standards. And number 5, consistency is your loudest sermon. You can't out-talk your examples. You can't out-train your habits. You can't out-preach your patterns. So if you want a better team, be a better example. If you want a stronger culture, raise your private standards. If you want them to grow, let them watch you grow first. See, how many of them know that you're on here today? If you're just in here learning, you're not showing them because they're not seeing you show up to learn. So make sure that they're included, they're seeing your growth, because when they see your growth, they start to grow. This week, lead like the cameras are on, because to your team, they always are. You're not just leading a team, guys. You are writing a playbook that they'll run for years. So make sure it's worth running. Make sure the plays that you're showing them get them the win. Guys, I hope this helped. Make sure that you share this. Tag somebody that you know needs to hear this. Again, tag people on your team so that they can see that you are doing something to develop your leadership, to develop your personal self, so that in turn, they understand that they should be doing it too. Guys, go out and make it an amazing day, and I hope your week is as awesome as you are.